Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, after the latest PlayStation disastrous dumpster fire that was, of course, Concord, yes, the video game disaster in history, costing the Sony company out there almost $500 million, that literally got burnt up and shut down in less than 2 weeks after the game launched. Well, color us shocked there, ladies and gentlemen. There's some rumors coming out there now that this could result in a major shutdown over at the Sony PlayStation company out there. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's exactly what they deserve. And this is absolutely hilarious. So we got this lovely little article over here from thatparkplace.com. This is Concord. Insiders believe original parent company will not survive game's catastrophic failure. And boys and girls, if they weren't already backed up by Sony and owned by PlayStation, this studio would have already gotten shut down after this kind of disastrous dumpster fire. They have spent $500 million on this game because they thought it was going to be the new next hot thing with characters like this as part of the lead and the promotional material out there. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it cost $500 million. And now everyone is in fear for their jobs. And guess what? You get exactly what you deserve. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details. And of course, give you a brief little history, a little synopsis of what has led up to this, in case you need a little refresher of that, in case you've blocked it out of your mind like so many other people out there, and clearly like PlayStation is trying to do as well. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Were you one of the very few people out there who gave Concord a try, or did you just watch everybody else's replays of how much of a disastrous dumpster fire this game was? Did you think this thing was ever actually going to get anywhere? Can you believe that PlayStation spent almost $500 million on this game, only for it to get shut down in less than 2 weeks? Do you believe that this studio absolutely deserves to get shut down? Because at the end of the day, boys and girls, if you're talented, you can find a job somewhere else. But everybody else involved, well, you'll get what you deserve. So from John F. Trent, a Concord insider alleges the game's original parent company, ProbablyMonsters, will not survive this game's catastrophic failure that saw it get shut down by Firewalk Studios and PlayStation in less than 2 weeks after its initial release due to lack of players. It wasn't even worth keeping the servers on because nobody was playing and nobody was buying. They issued refunds for this game, boys and girls. If you bought it on the PlayStation Store, they issued your refund. They went inside of your PlayStation and deleted this game off of your hard drive. That literally, there was guys out there scrambling to go find physical media copies of this because one of the situations was it's a collectible at this point because of how much of a disaster. It's literally, think about it. $400 million is reportedly what the budget for this game was. You tack on any kind of marketing to this game and you're easily at $500 million. $500 million is what Sony PlayStation spent on this game, only for it to have them shut down in less than 2 weeks. Yes, the biggest video game disaster in history is going to be a collectible. See if you can find you a physical copy. It's going to be worth something someday. So, yeah. If you recall, PlayStation and Firewalk Studios shut Concord down back in September, with Firewalk Studios games announcing the PlayStation blog. At this time, we decided to take it offline, yada, yada, yada. They're going to reissue a bunch of stuff, all of that kind of stuff. We went over that. The announcement came after the game failed to attract any kind of substantial player base. When the game released on August 23rd, it only hit a peak concurrent player count of just 697 on Steam. Yes, boys and girls, compare this to things like Space Marine 2, who had like 70,000 players in early access. You had things like Power World, which was up in the millions when its first initial release out there. An indie game made by an independent studio out there, not backed by Sony, not backed by PlayStation, although they are involved with Sony now at the time, but nothing at that. Millions of people playing at its peak concurrent. Helldivers, millions, hundreds of thousands of people playing at its peak concurrent. You couldn't even crack 700 people after spending $500 million on this game. That is insane. That is pathetic. So yeah, probably a few people should be worried for their jobs, because when you gaslight your executives and your bosses for this long, convincing them that this is going to be the bestest thing ever, and then when reality strikes, it blows up in your face, and you've now cost the company $500 million. Yeah, somebody's going to get fired. Somebody is going to get fired. So this is where it starts to get interesting. This is all of the new stuff out there. They go over to give you all the inside information on where the numbers are, how much money it cost, and everything else that we already kind of summarized for you. Like I said, we weren't going to go over the whole article here as well. But now, this is where the new things come into play. This is where the new information is. Now, a Concord insider talks directly to that Park Place. This isn't coming from some other YouTuber out there, and we know how good that Park Place is about vetting their sources. We know what kind of track record they have about being accurate from their insiders over and over again. That's why we pay attention to them. So now a Concord insider tells that Park Place that he does not believe that ProbablyMonsters will survive moving forward, albeit he does think that there are some people who might be able to salvage the company and thread the needle, but only time will tell. And I'd imagine no. I'd imagine that's not going to happen. You don't, unless, I mean, you could theoretically have the studio survive, right? You could have the name still exist, but you would strip it down to your bare bones. You would fire 99% of the people involved in the studios and essentially only keep the name only and a couple of people so you can claim somebody's working in that division. Like, that's literally all you would do. And that, it would also be an option, but that's still essentially the exact same thing as completely and totally shutting down. He also noted that morale at the company is horrifically low. Color me shocked there. I wonder why. I can't possibly imagine why, after you spent a decade, half a decade, 5 years of your life, and $500 million, only to have your life's work, who you thought was going to be the bestest thing ever, that everybody was just going to love all your body positivity characters, and that you were going to own the chuds out there, and that you were the new hot thing, and that everybody out there in the world agreed with your ideas. Well, to have the reality strike you in the face that, yes, you indeed are the freak. You really are the weirdo. You are the people that get ostracized from society, and the majority of the common sense, mainstream people out there reject your ideology and will not buy into it. Yeah. I'd imagine when you have your entire world crushed like that, you have your bubble literally broken, and the whole rest of the real world comes in and floods down inside of your echo chamber. Yeah, I'd imagine the morale at the company is horrifically low because you found out that your ideology doesn't sell and the world rejects it. Congratulations. You found out about the old saying, oh, boys and girls, bet on the spirit of the age, sacrifice yourself to your unknown gods, and guess what? Go woke, go broke. And now you're finding yourselves terrified for your jobs. I wonder why. And this is stuff we've gone over in the past as well. This is unsurprising, given Firewalk Studios concept artist Amanda Kiefer previously revealed that employees at Firewalk Studios were terrified of the future. Why wouldn't they be? And you were the concept artist for this stuff? This is partially your fault. Like, this is just absolutely insane. I mean, it's just like abysmal. And you can pull in all of the rest of the kind of stuff and how long the whole history has been there. And you talk about the CEO and how they were so on board with this game and everything else. But at the end of the day, yes, everyone who made a creative decision, everyone who made a managerial decision, everybody who made a story decision to go down this path with this game, to give us diversity, inclusion, and equity, and body positivity in a game, so that way your tanks actually look like a big green hand grenade. and that you're and that you're, I don't know, the first time you've ever had a transgender-based character right here with giant shoulder pads that literally looks like a linebacker, but you want us to call it a female. Wow. I wonder why didn't it sell? I wonder why characters like these people weren't rushing out to the stores to buy figurines of. You really did believe Monsters, Firewalk Studios, everybody else, all of you acolytes of the cult, all of you possessed by the spirit of the age. You really did believe this was going to be a success. You really did believe you were on the right side of history. You believed that all you had to do was educate all of us stupid little bigots, all of us stupid little phobes out there, and then we would learn to see things your way. That your way was the right way. That it was the wonderful way. It was the more enlightened way. It was the more woke way. And now you're finding out that the majority of gamers are actually awake to your bullshit. They're awake to your schemes. They're awake to your scams. And they know from the outset that if we have red flags, we're not going to buy your game. And as soon as it comes out and we find out that all of our red flags were confirmed to be exactly what we suspected, we're still not going to buy your game. We never were. We never will. And although I might be one of the much smaller portions out here in the corner of the internet, in the corner of the fellowship, I absolutely can represent the majority of the gamers where I can go out there and tell you, Concord, go fuck yourself. Nobody wanted part of this game. Nobody wanted your ugly ass, fat, tanky, nasty, disgusting looking trans weirdo garbage. And now you should be terrified for your jobs because you are the ones that made these decisions. You did this to yourself, and now you're getting exactly what you deserve.